Minasan konnichiwa and welcome to the Board Game Dojo, where as you can see, we are not filming under normal circumstances. Actually, I wasn't planning on doing a video today at all. We are moving to a new apartment tomorrow, so everything is packed away, including all the lighting equipment. But I wanted to make a video because as we were packing up today, I was listening to some podcasts and YouTube videos all about anticipated games for Essen, and I realized that nobody's really talking about the large presence of Asian board games that will be there, and I was a bit disappointed by that. So I wanted to compile a list of 10 games that I'm looking forward to at least demoing or checking out, in case, like me, you wanted to see what the latest and greatest games coming out of Asia might be. So here they are, 10 games that I am looking forward to seeing at Essen coming out of Asia, and these are put in alphabetical order. The first game that I'm looking forward to seeing is Amalfi Renaissance. Now, this is actually a remake of a game that I already thought was pretty good, but from early reviews, everything about this new version is a lot better, from the components to the gameplay. Yes and yes. This game is all about, and stop me when you've heard this before, trading in the Mediterranean using resource management and worker placement. But the interesting twist to this game is that the ships that you use as your workers also work as your resources. So you have to finally balance how you use them. I'm interested to see the improvements, and I've already tried it out on Board Game Arena, where you can also try this out, and I have to say it is an improvement and definitely going to be a buy from me, and definitely probably the heaviest game, both in size because this box is pretty big, and in terms of strategic weight. The second one that I'm looking forward to is called Infiltraitors, and I think this one is coming out of Hong Kong. This is a cooperative deduction that works through 20 missions, in which you'll be unlocking more parts of the game as you go. As a team, you are going to try to eliminate the traitors that are symbolized by a color and a number on a card. You'll be giving each other hints that might be the same color, the same number, or a factorial of it. I think that's what it's called, at least. So for example, if you play a 12, it could be a 3, a 6, a 9, or a 12. Your partners will need to guess what card you're trying to get them to guess, and you have 10 bullets to try to eliminate all of the targets. This game sounds pretty interesting, and the production seems pretty great, which is really important for me if I am going to spend retail price, because it's actually pretty rare for me. The next game is coming out of Vietnam, and it is pronounced
Khu Rừng Kim Cương.
Khu Rừng Kim Cương. Sorry, I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. And honestly, the big draw for me to this one is that it is coming out of Vietnam, and I just don't have anything in my collection from there. If I use Google Translate, the English name is something like Diamond Forest, and you are going to be going on quests to plant trees. This game has a very colorful art style, some really nice production quality, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it brings. The next one is really the only one that I've seen people talk about, and it's because it's the latest Sushi and Sushi release called Newsboys. Newsboys is going to be a roll and write in which you are working as a newsboy to expand your paper route, but you have to finally balance it because not only do you want to expand your route, but you want to go on strike so that you're paid more for the papers that you are delivering. So you have to balance between expanding your route and getting further, and wanting to make more money for what you are doing. I think that that's an interesting premise, and the iconic Sashi and Stashi art style works with the theme perfectly well, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on this one. The next one might be really bad or really good, I really don't know, but I am at least intrigued by the very cute art style, and that is Nightmares of Sushi. Nightmares of Sushi has you trying to deduce what other players are putting in front of them and what grade of sushi that they might be. You are trying to accrue the most amount of points based on the sushi that you are eating. However, you have to beware, because if you keep putting out cards in front of you and nobody chooses the card in front of you, then you will get penalty points. But what's interesting about this game is that there's two ways that you can win. If you reach the end of the time limit, which is 4 rounds, then whoever has the most points wins. But the other way to win is to get 10 penalty points, which is just a kind of humorous way to win this one. So I think between the art style and how easy this seems to teach, I think that Nightmares of Sushi is going to be one that I'm going to be looking at picking up. The next one is actually an award winner from Japan from board game company Essen, and it is called Nuts A Go-Go. Nuts A Go-Go literally looks like you are going to be putting some what look like nuts into a cup and trying to do some set collection. But the thing about it is that you need to determine whether you want to go for variety or specialty. Because after you're done with the phase of grabbing, players one at a time will name and show a piece from their set. And all players then need to discard one piece from it, but if they cannot, then they are completely eliminated from the game. Now, this game won for its art style and component quality when it came out, and it's an Essen game, so it's definitely going to be something that I've never played before, and I'm interested in trying this one out. The next one is Pawlitics, Candadogs versus Politicats. Now, if you're actually looking at this on the tabletop together, app online, then it only shows this game name in Chinese, but you can look it up on Board Game Geek pretty easily. Now, this one goes back to the fact that, like, my master's degree is in political science. I love to play political games, and this one just seems more humorous than other ones. You are going to try to gain influence and reputation by backing the right candidate, either the cats or the dogs, but you also have the media that's going to work in some random events throughout the game. But the important thing is that at the end of the game, you want both influence and reputation, because if your reputation is low, you were just known as a bad person in the environment, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to win because you were going to be penalized. I just think that this sounds like a very approachable political style of game that I'd have a better chance of playing with more people. The next one is a party game, and this is called Stereo Mind. And if you listen to our podcast last Monday, where our chat about Essen with Travel Games UK's Ben, then you will have already heard me talk about this game. This one has a pretty straightforward premise in that you are going to be scanning a QR code on a card, and there will be a bunch of words on the table. You were trying to hive mind it, so while listening to song, you need to think about what word you would choose to describe how you're feeling or what you think of the song or whatever it is in your meta. If everybody chooses the same word, then you get the point. But if even one person chooses a different word, then you fail. This sounds like it's going to probably be more of an activity than a game, and I'm not going to get into that argument right now. But with the new classical expansion, it sounds like I'm just going to be able to get so many people to be able to play this game with me because I've already explained all the rules to you just right there. The next game is War and Right. Now, usually I am not going to be a big fan of war games. I didn't like Air, Land, and Sea very much, but this one sounds really interesting. There'll be 6 rounds, and each round represents a year in the war. So everybody's going to be secretly writing down commands for their faction and then simultaneously revealing their plans and figuring out what everybody did. There'll be key locations like Berlin, Tokyo, San Francisco, and London. And at the end of each of these rounds, whoever has the most influence in the League of Nations can swing victory in their favor. And I'm liking the idea that there's even going to be advanced play in which you can use technologies for each faction, which sounds really cool. And also, I'm just excited because this one is co-designed by Cardboard East's Jay, so I'm just interested to see what he and the co-designers can come up with here. The last game comes out of Japan, and it is from probably the most popular board game cafe chain, Jelly Jelly Games. Word I can see being either really, really good or absolute garbage. The new insider or something that I'm just going to want to give away to people. Basically what is going on here is that you are going to be giving a word that you need to work into conversation. And then there will be a theme that you need to talk about. So your word might be something like Brazil, and the category might be a celebrity that you like. Now you are going to have somebody that's going to help you out and try to work the next conversation in so that you can say Brazil. At the end of the time, the other people on the other team need to guess what word you were trying to insert into the conversation. I don't know how well this is going to work. I haven't seen anybody play it yet, but I'm excited to at least give it a try because it sounds like it could be really funny. Well, I hope you enjoyed this laid-back, kind of casual episode that I'm doing in my pajamas. As always, thank you so much for watching. Arigatou gozaimashita. Until next time, じゃあね.